Golf Central on YouTube, brought to you by TaylorMade.
Whistling Straits was built with the express desire to host the biggest events in golf. After 2 successful PGA championships, Whistling Straits is scheduled to host the 43rd playing of the Ryder Cup. The overriding question of whether the fans will be permitted remains to be answered, and many wonder if the event should even be held if fans are not allowed on the grounds. Today comes the news from the PGA of America that the United States captain, Steve Stricker, will be given additional captain selections for his team, and all of that is going to come at the end of the summer. Now, our Todd Lewis is down at the Charles Schwab Challenge in Fort Worth, Texas. He joins me now. Todd, another warm day there. Great to see you. I know you had an opportunity to talk to the American captain, Steve Stricker, earlier today. What did he have to say?
Well, he had quite a lot to say, and of course, Gary, you know this, being a Ryder Cup captain is rewarding, but it is difficult, and that difficulty has been magnified for Steve Stricker this year with COVID-19 shutting down tournaments across the globe. And it is that reason, the reduction in tournaments for 2020, which is enabling or enabling players to qualify automatically as easily for those Ryder Cup teams. That is the main reason why he, in conjunction with the PGA of America, has decided to increase his captain's picks from 4 to 6.
We just thought it was in the best interest of Team USA, to get our best team forward. It wasn't an easy decision. We contemplated a lot of different scenarios, but with the climate the way it is, the uncertainty that we're in right now, we're hoping we're going to play all these tournaments, but we don't know for sure. Hopefully, we're going to play the Ryder Cup. With all that uncertainty, we just felt like this was the best for us. We lost out on, 10, 11 tournaments this year. Guys weren't able to earn points. Whistling Straits is a big course. We want that flexibility to make sure that we get the right guys for the team.
Does this, by losing all those tournaments and making this decision today, does this alter the way you analyze possible captain's picks?
I don't know if it alters the way we analyze it. We're just starting to look at what kind of player, and we all kind of have a feeling what kind of player best is suited for Whistling Straits, or vice versa. So we'll take that into consideration. Look at the guys who are playing well at the time, and we'll develop a game plan to who we think is going to mesh and be right for the course and mesh right with the team. And picking 6 guys is going to give us that flexibility.
Hearing this news today, fans may think, well, it sounds like that the Ryder Cup is going to happen this year. Is this an indication that is really possible?
I hope so. I that's way above my pay grade, to make any of those determinations. But, it's, I still think it's up in the air. Just our whole world is up in the air a little bit, with this uncertainty.
Now, I witnessed a conversation between Steve Stricker and Rory McIlroy. McIlroy has been pretty vocal, saying that he will not be a part of the Ryder Cup if fans are not allowed to be on the grounds. Well, Stricker said to Rory, if we can allow, let's say, 50% of the fans on the grounds, a certain percentage, would you be willing to come and play? Rory McIlroy said, yeah, he feels like that will be a good number. And Steve Stricker, talking for the players, feels like that is the case as well. We shall see if that transpires. Of course, those decisions up to the local and state governments of Wisconsin. Coming up, you will hear from Rory McIlroy and if he thinks Padraig Harrington, the European Ryder Cup captain, should follow Steve Stricker's lead and increase the number of captain's picks. Gary?
All right, Todd, thank you very much. With that, let's take a look at the United States standings as they are constructed right now. Brooks Koepka, number 1. Got to consider the weight given to major championships in the off year. He won that PGA, not to mention the great performances in the others, have him in that number 1 position. Because of the cutoff now being at 6, see Justin Thomas at 7, Tiger Woods at 8. Most people believe it'll be Tiger's call as to whether he wants to represent the United States as a member of that team come the week after the U.S. Open at Winged Foot now that last weekend in September. Now, Todd, you alluded to Rory McIlroy. You spoke to the #1 player in the world. He is poised to represent Europe. It's hard to imagine, Todd, already for the 6th time in his career, and he's only 31 years of age. What did he have to say?
Yeah. Well, Rory McIlroy, make no mistake, wants to play for the European Ryder Cup team this year, wants to be a part of the Ryder Cup, but he also wants to be playing in front of fans. That has yet to be determined. That's a separate issue. But as far as the European team coming together, well, just like the U.S. team, there are fewer events. As a matter of fact, the European Tour doesn't start until roughly 6 weeks from now, so fewer events for players to automatically qualify for that European Tour. And I asked Rory, should Padraig Harrington, the European Ryder Cup captain, do exactly what Steve Stricker did today, and that is increase his number of captain's picks?
I think having 6 and 6 is a good thing. I also, with everything that's happened in the last couple of weeks with the world rankings, points being available here, obviously not back there. The world points list on the European side being paused because of that. There's just so many variables. So, I think if Padraig was to, sort of adapt and do something like Steve's done with 6 and 6, I don't think that would be a bad thing for the European team.
What are you most looking forward to this week?
Looking forward to the competition, to getting out there. I feel like I'm getting thrown straight back in at the deep end, playing with John and Brooks the first 2 days. But yeah, I think that's it. I've played quite a bit of golf at home over the last few weeks, and it's been nice to feel some competitiveness coming back and playing with a few of the guys. But once you get back out on tour and there's a card in your hand, and that first little 3 or 4 footer for par on Thursday is gonna, I'm probably gonna feel it a little bit, but I'm excited for it.
Now, of course, the PGA Tour starts tomorrow here in Fort Worth, Texas, and as I mentioned, the European Tour doesn't start until late July. Rory McIlroy is not only a member of the PGA Tour, but also a member of the European Tour. And during this layoff, because of the pandemic, McIlroy has felt that there should be more of an emphasis on simplicity in regards to players and where they play, those like Rory, who are on the world stage.
I think for the health of both tours, a world tour is something I've always wanted, but it had to be done the right way. I think the PGL coming in and trying to do it their way wasn't the right thing. So, trying to make change from within the game already and not letting an outsider come in, I think is the right way to do it. So, I'd be supportive of that for sure. Tour is consolidating, or whether it's some European Tour events offering FedEx Cup points and some PGA Tour events offering, Race to Dubai points. I don't know, but yeah, just a little bit more cohesion. And then I think as well, like trying to figure out the schedule going forward this year. The major bodies, so USGA, R&A, Masters, PGA of America, whatever it is, they're thinking about 1 or 2 weeks a year, and I think. Speaking to the PGA Tour, speaking to the European Tour, having everyone together and trying to figure this out has definitely opened some people's eyes to what actually goes on and how many moving parts there is. And so I think the more that all these bodies can sort of work together for the greater good of the game can only be a good thing.
Rory making those comments in a virtual press conference today, but it doesn't matter which microphone he steps in front of, because he's the world's #1 player and because he is considered one of the most thoughtful players on the planet. His words carry a lot of impact. And in regards to words, I asked Rory to give me an emotional word to describe his return to competitive golf on the PGA Tour. And he looked at me and he said with a smile, Gary, happiness.